I'm about to show you how to start your own trucking business, your own hotshot trucking business. So I mean, even if you want to do this is gonna be like mostly non-CDL. I mean, CDL is almost the same stuff. All you really have to do is just like a couple extra steps, which I mean I'll go over it as well. But as far as for right now, it's gonna be mainly for non-CDL. So yeah, and this is really going over all the basic stuff you need. So for instance, if you already have your truck and everything, then I mean you should be good. Most of the stuff you're gonna need is just a lot of like paperwork stuff and back end office stuff, I guess you can say. So before you get started, this is what I recommend you to have, just so you know you're a little more comfortable in case stuff goes south. Because I mean, in the business world, especially in trucking, a lot of stuff can happen. Anything from like, you know, breaking down, having to get stuff repaired on your truck, trailer, maybe accidents, or you know, stuff like that. And all that stuff is pretty expensive, so you're gonna have to have some type of money to back you up for I would say a good amount of time. What I would recommend you to have, or in order to start, would be anywhere from 10 to 15,000 just to keep you good. Just to have that. That's what I would say you would need in order to start and not worry about too much. So also have a good credit card with like a limit of like $2,000 and up. You can use that for repairs on your truck and stuff like that. Fuel card as well, you know, fuel up every week, pay it at the end of the week, whatever. Also, if you are under the age of 23 and you're going to be the main one on the insurance, your insurance is going to be expensive, so just keep that in mind. If you have a lot of violations and a lot of tickets, you know, you're cooked. Your shit's going to be super expensive, so it's going to be super hard for you to become profitable. So I mean, if you have over like 3 accidents and you're under the age of 23, I don't recommend you. I mean, you can get quotes, but it's gonna be a lot, and I mean, it's not gonna make sense for you to start. So that's in my opinion. You can go find out yourself, but it's just the honest truth. Yeah, I mean, and if you're over the age of 23, even if you have an accident, it might not be as expensive as somebody younger, but you know, whenever we started, we were 19. And I mean, it was still pretty expensive, but yeah, we made it work. Okay, so the first thing is you're gonna need a name for your business. Now, a lot of people, or I don't know what you have in mind or plan to have with your business, but if you eventually want to branch off to other stuff, you kind of don't want to have, you kind of don't want to just add trucking in your name, which is why, I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but like if you want to get, from what I know, if you want to get loans and stuff, and especially like banks, they're kind of hesitant to lend out a trucking company a loan, which actually happened to us because we wanted to get a mortgage, and they say that we needed 5 years. They changed it from 2 years to 5 years. This bank was Bank of America, which, I mean, some other banks might not be as much, but yeah. So we try to go apply, and they told us 5 years of business and steady income. So, but you kind of want to, like, whenever you choose your name, you want to have something that you can use it for anything, you know, not just give up straight away what you do. So look at like the bigger companies, you know, like TQL, Total Quality Logistics. I mean, it kind of says it logistics, but still it can be anything else. It can be like different types of logistics. You know what I mean? Look at Landstar. See, their name doesn't have trucking, but if you do, like, for instance, like, say your last name in trucking, I mean, yeah, it's just an opinion. Everybody has different opinions, but what I would recommend you is try to come up with a name they can use for everything, because then you can just branch off to other stuff. Just what I think. Next, after you choose your name, obviously you get the LLC, get the EIN, get the bank account. One bank I do recommend is Bank of America, because they have pretty high Zelle limits. I've previously tried Wells Fargo. Bank of America and Chase are pretty good. I've tried Wells Fargo. Their limits are ass for Zelle. And I mean, especially if you have a driver and stuff like that, you're going to be transporting money in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, we were moving 6 figures a month through Zelle and stuff like that. So, yeah, through Wells Fargo wasn't really good. I know they say that the limits are going up after you keep using it constantly, but I mean, that shit wasn't good for us. And then compared to Bank of America, I mean, it's pretty good. Chase as well. I think they send like around 5,000 a day after the second Zelle transaction per each person, so that's not bad. Something like that. So I would recommend either Bank of America or Chase. I don't recommend Wells Fargo. But yeah, just get after that. You know, make sure you get your before the bank. You want to get your LLC. You know, if you're in Texas, you can file it through the Texas State Secretary. I would say it's pretty easy to file it. There's videos on YouTube on how to do it. You could always pay somebody, but they're gonna charge you. And if you do it yourself here in Texas, it's $300. After you get it approved, you can get your EIN for free. You literally just go and look up EIN. IRS, it's on the IRS website, and then you just look up your EIN, put all your info, and you get your EIN like this. But you gotta make sure you do it during the day though, because at night I think their shit closes, something like that. But after you get all that back end work, your LLC, EIN, all that stuff, then you can finally apply for your .NMC number. Now, in order to apply for this, it's $300. If you want to get your broker license, that's another. I think it's another $300. But you know, if you just want to do trucking, it's just $300. Once you apply for it, you know, you fill it out. It's pretty simple as well. I mean, I would say just look up a YouTube video how to do it. You know, just make sure you put general trucking, general freight. Don't put anything else if you're not gonna do anything else. But I mean, if you're a non-CDO, you shouldn't be putting anything else, because all you're gonna be transporting is general freight. General freight can be literally almost everything. Now, if you're CDO and you're gonna do hazmat, that's different. You can add that as well, but again, this is mostly for non-CDO. And I mean, you can look up how to apply for authorities. Pretty easy. We did it ourselves all the times we've applied, and the times we've applied for, and it was pretty simple. Then you should, once you get approved, I think as soon as you file for it, like literally like 5 or 10 minutes after, you're gonna get calls from people calling you, sending you a service. Make sure you don't answer none of those people, because they're all selling you stuff. Everybody is gonna be trying to sell you a service. Don't fall for none of that shit. Some of them might say that they're like the FMCSA, but to be honest, the FMCSA will probably email you. So keep that in mind. I would say make sure you put your main form of contact email, because you're gonna be getting a lot of calls. So I mean, you kind of don't want to just answer every single call, because it's a waste of time, to be honest. And yeah, just be super careful. You could request your PIN as well. I don't know if you can get it through your email. We've never gotten it through our email. We've always got it through our mail. But once you get your PIN, you can like edit the address and stuff, like edit stuff on the FMCSA website. Pretty simple. And you could always pay somebody to do it as well. I don't know how much they charge, but yeah, you can do it yourself. I would recommend you do it yourself. Just look up a video on how to do it, follow all the steps, and only click general freight. Don't click anything else. Next, what type of insurance are you gonna need in order to activate your MC? Because after you apply for your MC, you still need to activate your MC. You still need to do filling. So the requirements that brokers require is $1 million commercial liability and $100K cargo. But I'm gonna give y'all one tip. If you don't want to work those, I'll go over it in a bit. What I recommend you to do is try to get the $1,000 deductible. It's honestly a lifesaver. If you get into an accident and it's over $2,500, I think even if it's under $2,500, this happened to us before. Where I think it was like $1,900, and we had to pay $2,500 to the fucking insurance company, which is ridiculous. We tried to negotiate with the guy, but they didn't want to pay. They didn't want us to pay directly, so we had to pay that extra money, which was honestly bullshit. But I mean, we couldn't do anything about it, to be honest. But I would recommend y'all to get the $1,000 deductible, just because if anything happens. I mean, say for instance you get an accident, $2,500 worth of damages. All you gotta do is pay $1,000 to your insurance company. You're good. You know, and I mean, $1,000 of $2,500 is a big difference, which honestly can either make or break you at times as well, especially if you've had like a shit month and you haven't been making no money. That $1,000 is definitely better than $2,500. You might be paying a little bit more per month, but I would say it's definitely get that $1,000 deductible. Get multiple quotes, because you're gonna be getting different agents. I don't know for what reason, even if they put the exact same details, it might be higher. It might be more expensive with some, it might be less with some. And also, if you're able to, I mean, you should be able to, but get a quote directly from Progressive. literally just go on their website and get the quote. Progressive commercial. Look up Progressive commercial. You get a quote there and see on how much you'll be paying, and as well get an agent, get different agents, and get different quotes and see who gives you the best price. You want to make sure they do your feelings though. And if you are young, like I said, the only insurance company that can insure you is Progressive. So I mean, it's gonna be expensive, but to be honest, that's really the only one that's gonna be able to give you a quote. A lot of the times, other insurance companies don't want to insure us young people. Don't know why. Just how it is. They don't do it. So that's really the only one you can do. So just you can get a quote directly from them. You gotta make sure that they do your fillings, which it should be 2 fillings, I believe. It's the MCS 90 and the POC 3. Make sure they do it, because if not, you're not gonna be active. Which happened to us actually. I think we paid like 2 months of insurance, and then we were still waiting. Like, why haven't we been active? Like, what the hell's going on? And we figured out that one of our fillings wasn't done, so we wasted a couple grand on that. Gotta make sure you get on those agents' asses too. Make sure they do that, because if they don't, they're gonna fuck you over. So keep that in mind. Okay, now after you get your insurance, you want to make sure you get a factoring company. So I've had terrible experience with RTS. Their customer service is terrible. Their agents lie. Whenever we signed with RTS, it was supposed to be non-recourse. Non-recourse means that for whatever reason, if the broker doesn't want to pay you, even though you deliver the load and have all the proof, they can't back charge you on that. Which you want to make sure you have that on your contract. It's just good to have it. And RTS was supposed to add it to our contract. I have messages and everything, but for some reason the agent didn't add it. I don't know why. So that's something where they kind of fucked us over. But I mean, it's whatever. I know how to get the money. Because whenever a broker doesn't want to pay you, there's ways where you can get your money. You might not be able to get 100%, but you can still get partial. And then also their agents were pretty bad. They were kind of rude and took forever to answer sometimes. And I mean, yeah, you don't need that when you're in the trucking company. Like, you need shit like done fast. So that's where OTR comes in hand. Now, obviously, I'm not sponsored by nobody, but OTR is honestly really, really good. They've been really good to us. We got a really good percentage. I'm not going to tell you our percentage, but we were able to negotiate it pretty low because we had multiple trucks. So, yeah, and then, I mean, they pay next day if it's, I think, before noon Central. So if you upload your Raycon, if you upload your paperwork before Central Time, 12 Central Time, you should be getting it paid next day, typically. Sometimes it might be the day after, but regardless, it's pretty fast. I mean, you can negotiate your percentage with them. And yeah, they were fast. They send you, I know before they had the update, you were able to see exactly how much you were at the month. So it showed you like how much you had this month, this month, this month. And they had like a graph and everything, and that was honestly pretty useful because then you can see your growth and stuff like that. But yeah, and I mean, they were good. Their agents were good. Everybody was good. They were always fast to answer, and yeah, they were really good. I definitely recommend them. I mean, if for some reason y'all don't want to get these, you can always go for a different one, but I recommend OTR. They were pretty good. Just try to get your percentage low. Anything over like a 3.5 is pretty high. So I would say try to negotiate it. Try to get it at 3.5 and negotiate it as you grow, as your trucking company grows. So you get more trucks and stuff, you can negotiate it lower. But if you only have one truck, then you'll probably be stuck at like a 3.5, 4%. But anything higher than that is a no. So just get a different factoring company. But yeah, just make some research. But these are one I recommend and one I don't recommend. Now, when can you start working? So before you start working, you have to check this website. It's called FMCSA Snapshot. Right there you can see when you're active and when you're not active. Whenever that thing says you're active, that's when you can officially start working. But you have to receive your letter of authority, because if you don't have that in your truck, you can get in trouble when they pull you over. So make sure, I would say just wait till you get that letter of authority, and then I would say wait till on the website it says you're active and you receive that letter of authority. Then you should be good to go. I think it takes like 2-3 weeks for you to get active after you purchase your insurance, something like that. It says you're active, but yeah, it's bullshit, bro. That's like almost a whole month wasted. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta have some type of savings, because that shit, like, it just starts like these payments start coming at you fast, bro, super fast. So if you don't have some type of money, you're gonna be in the red real fast. Especially if you're still paying your truck and your trailer, and you still have personal insurance. Like that shit, it's crazy. But you'll receive the pin in the mail. Get a loader board as well. Once you're active, I would recommend you. Doesn't matter if you're doing CDL, hotshot, or semi flatbed. Get truck stop and get the pro version. Um, I mean, you could always get the cheaper one, but the pro version, I think it has, as soon as a broker posts it, you're able to see, and the other one is delayed. So that can literally be the reason why you get a load or you don't. Because, I mean, everybody, like, there's so many trucking companies. So as soon as the load is posted, like, people call this, like, within seconds. So keep that in mind. And then as well, even if you're not going to run that first month, you're just going to wait it out. Just pay your insurance and wait it out, just so you don't go through the headache of running, for pennies. I would say try to sign up with brokers. But, so yeah, get the load boards and then try to call and sign up with brokers. Ask them for the carrier packets. That way, once you're ready to roll, you can start getting loads and you don't have to waste your time doing the carrier packets. But I mean, they're typically pretty fast, especially if they do it through mycarrierpackets.com, something like that. And then also get an ELD, electronic logging device. I would recommend you Geotab by T-Mobile or Motive, either one of those. They're pretty cheap. And I mean, if you have a big trucking company, you can get for Geotab, you can the price goes down. For the more you get, the cheaper it is. Motive, I don't know exactly how much it was for how many we had. But yeah, the only thing about Motive is I think you do contracts. Well, for all of them you do contracts, like a year contract, 2-year contract. So if you're out of server, you're still gonna have to pay that. So keep that in mind. Make sure you follow the hours and have everything correctly done. And then I guess within time you'll know how to, like, I don't want to say manipulate it, but be able to, whatever. I didn't tell you anything, but yeah, I guess, yeah, like I said, that first month's gonna be super hard for you to get loads. Those first 30 days. That's why a lot of people, what they do is they get the $750,000 liability, and then they get, it's either 10K cargo or no cargo for the quote. Well, get two quotes. Get the $1 million liability, get the 100K cargo, then get the 750K liability and no cargo, or 10K cargo. The reason why people do this is because that first month, like, you could wait it out 1 or 2 months until you actually start running. But whenever you're active and you're paying insurance, even if it's only 750K liability, it's gonna be cheaper for you per month. Plus the down payment is gonna be cheaper. But once, say for instance, you start after 3 months of you paying insurance, it's gonna show that you've been active for 90 days. Now, the only thing that's not right about this is that if you have 0 inspections, you're not gonna be able to. A lot of brokers aren't gonna work with you just because you have 0 inspections. So that's the only thing. You kind of want to try to get an inspection, which is what I want to go over with y'all now, because I think that's one of the reasons why we weren't able to get loads as well our first month, because we had 0 inspections, which sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, you have to have inspections. And you want to make sure you pass all your inspections, because if your safety score is like super low and you failed a lot of inspections, like you're not gonna be able to get no loads at all. So make sure you do your inspections. Make sure you pass your inspections. Do your level 1 check, level 2 check, level 3 check, because do your pre-trip checks. Make sure you're ready for the level 1, level 2, level 3 inspections. Make sure everything's good. Make sure your securement's nice. Make sure you have everything in order. Make sure your tarping is good, because if your tarping is bad, I mean, that could be one of the reasons why they pull you over and fail you. I know a lot of times some DOT officers will literally just look for anything just to put you out of service. So keep that in mind. Make sure your ELD is good. Make sure make sure everything is on point, and make sure you have all your paperwork ready as well, as far as your insurance, your letter of authority. There's a couple other stuff. Y'all can look at other videos that show y'all exactly what y'all gotta have, but those are a couple things. Just make sure everything's good, and I mean you should be straight. And that should be pretty much everything. That's kind of like just the beginning. I would say like the first 30 to 60 days, what you really have to do if you want to start your business. Because I would say it does take some. I would say if you start now, it would probably take you anywhere from like 30 to 60 days for you to actually hit the road, just because getting your LLC could take anywhere from like a week to 2 weeks to get the paperwork. Then after that, so you get your EIN, then you apply for your dot number. That could take another week or two. You're already at 28 days max. Then, for instance, your insurance, that's another 2 weeks for you to get active. So, you know, it take probably like around 30 to 45 days, really. But it takes time. So, that's what I'm saying. Have that 10 to 15K to last you throughout this whole time, and you should be good. Anything less than 10K, I would say it would be pretty. You're gonna be pretty tight. But definitely try to aim for that 15K just to have, and then have your credit and fuel cards. And I think if you do everything I told y'all, or everything, if you do everything what we went over with, you should be good. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making no money. Just make sure you don't take cheap freight. Don't take anything under $2. Take everything over $2. Stack up partials, and yeah, you should be good. I'm trying to make more videos weekly about trucking, because I mean we do have good experience and we've made good money with this. So there is a lot of money to be made. Just be smart, stay safe, don't do nothing stupid, and just follow the rules. Keep that in mind, and do a lot of research before you get on if you haven't gone on yet. And yeah, don't go beyond your needs if you don't have to, or whatever. Like don't spend more than you have to. You know, try saving as much money as you can the first couple of months, because if you have a big breakdown or something happens, you don't know if you're going to be able to come out of that, especially if you're just starting off. Because like I said, those first 3 months are going to be super tough. So keep that in mind.